Hello, thank you for watching this second video on my blossoming YouTube channel. I figured this time it'd be better to have some noise, even if it is my droning voice, rather than dead silence, creepy, no noise whatsoever. So this time I'm going to be supplying some commentary on what I'm drawing, what I am thinking while I'm drawing it, and whether or not I'm happy with the end result, what I would change. So this particular drawing is a drawing for day 2 of Inktober. The prompt of the day is mindless. The idea I had will obviously be revealed in time, but the first step was to put down a pencil under drawing, kind of cut ahead pretty far, cut out a lot of time, just so you could see the intro and show that I am doing an underdrawing to try and render his face. But it's not all that interesting, and it's not really anything you can see anyhow, so figured I'd cut out the middleman as best as possible. At this point we are looking at the pen drawing. I always start with the nose and eyes. That is A, because I think it is easy to ground the rest of the features in relation to where the nose and eyes are if I'm drawing from reference, and B, if I fuck up the nose or eyes, I'll know right away that I don't like the drawing and can just tear it up and pretend it was never in my sketchbook to begin with. This particular time I was happy with the nose and eyes, so forged on ahead. The hardest part for the eyes was that I don't really know how to draw eyes, so I was told that they look kind of lifeless and glassy and dead in this video, which is probably because the method I used was to draw scribbly little circles until they kind of rendered pupils and irises. So it was really more of a horror movie type rendering of an eyeball than any actual practiced technique. This video is also sped up quite a bit because a lot of it is hair detail. So right now I've got a mustache and beard down, and I put on a lot of small stacking lines, just a little bit at a time, to build up texture and color variation. One of my worst habits drawing anything is that there is not a lot of variation from the darkest value to the lightest value, which I don't know if that really applies to pen. Well, of course it does. You can put cross-hatching and shading to different degrees. You can see right there near the back of the head the darker hair as opposed to the lighter beard. So that is something I'm focusing on a lot. Unfortunately, it doesn't make for the most interesting video of all time because it's just a lot of lines and not a lot of change, but I think it is satisfying to look at in a time-lapse method. This is going to be a self-portrait. I hope that's obvious by now, unless I really fucked up. The dangerous thing with self-portraits around my beard area is that I don't want to show off my beard envy too hard, but typically I draw my beard bigger than it actually is. So hopefully this one is true to life. This particular section of the video is going to be a lot of hair rendering and cross-hatching, layering little lines on top of one another. This is all from reference, so the neckline, shoulder line, showing off my bad posture and all that is going to be pulled from a photo. I would like to be skilled enough to not use reference one day, and practice will make perfect in that regard, but for now, coming straight from a photo. This is where the twist or theme of the drawing comes in. So, like I said, the theme for Inktober Day 2 is mindless. I was really torn. I kind of wanted to do a zombie, kind of wanted to do a robot, but I couldn't help but imagine both of those were overplayed. So what I ended up doing was just thinking, well, mindless, destruction of the mind, something like that. So I decided to draw a self-portrait because I'm most comfortable with my own face. Wasn't trying to make a joke or anything about the prompt like that. And then stick a railroad spike through my forehead. Because obviously if there's a railroad spike in your forehead, probably not much mind left. It was a lot of fun. It kind of got me to practice perspective and boxes and volume and all those things. The portrait is straight from a reference, but I wasn't too interested in Googling railroad spikes through foreheads, so I just kind of winged it on that particular aspect of the drawing and relied on the fact that I could probably work out where it would come out the back of my skull. The blood drops were not planned, but I was happy with them. Before I put them on, I think it kind of just made it look like this weird floating attachment to my head. But now that those are in there, I kind of get the sense that, it shows contours of the face, goes down the nostril, shows the bumps and rounds and where things might fall. Again, I wasn't interested in Googling blood or bruises on a dead body, so I made do with what I thought it might look like, and I was pretty pleased with the result. If I could change if I could change a thing, because I would change many things, it would be the spike out the back. So in my mind, there's a lot more gruesome looking. Here it kind of looks like just some random scribbles, which, maybe I'm being overly critical, but it's not exactly, well, it is quite a bright ruler. It's glaring to look at. But yeah, not as gruesome as I would have liked, but at the same time I wasn't interested in finding any reference shots. So I boxed the thing up here. It was kind of floating in the middle of the page, and I wasn't interested in drawing the rest of my body. So I threw a box around it and started filling out some more shadows in the shirt itself. This is probably my second least favorite part of the drawing, beyond the spike out the back. I didn't really have a plan for texture on the shirt or anything like that, and by the time I realized I didn't like it, I was too far gone. It was right about here that I'm like, wow, this looks like shit. But I figured if I committed, it would end up looking a little better, and I was wrong. So yeah, the rest of the drawing here is mostly just me throwing down some lazy crosshatch. I get a little bored. Also at the end it'll jump forward where I put in even more lines around the hair and beard just to make it darker, make it pop a bit more. So hope you liked it, and hope my commentary did not bore you to death. Goodbye.